subscribe to the show on YouTube by going to youtube.com at the Get On With It podcast and clicking the subscribe button. Or just search YouTube for the Get On With It podcast and leave out the spaces. Either way, it's as easy as falling off a log. Thanks a bundle.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, April the 15th, tax day, 2026. Jersey Johnny with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Harry Lug Nutz and RadioPete. How are you two gents tonight?
I'm good. I'm curious. Did you hear anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
All right.
Did you hear the news?
Then I'm great.
Yeah. Yeah, we heard.
It freaking worked.
And another song right after the intro song, too.
Yes, that's our new talk-up bed.
That's our new talk-up bed. There you go. I love it. Love it. Very nice. Sounders galore. So
can never have too much music in a podcast.
Never have too much music in a podcast. That's for certain. That's for certain. And we learned that in radio, didn't we, Pete?
Yes. Everything should have music. I want each show. Who was the producer? Was it? I forget what his name was. Each show should have a beginning and a middle and an end. I don't remember what Ken or whatever his name was.
It's pretty sound knowledge.
Yeah,
each show does have a beginning, middle, and end. On this show, the beginning is a rambling, usually technically buffooned.
Yeah,
it's the beginning of a
confusing diatribe of incoherence. The middle is usually
I love that.
Long and with moments of clarity, and the end is
brief moments of clarity.
Abrupt and Irish.
Exactly.
That's good stuff.
It is good.
All right. So, by the way, just in case you didn't know, this is our annual draft show.
The NFL draft.
You can't get away from football. It's just constant.
I know it's amazing. Well,
2026.
Yeah, and we're gonna be talking about it again.
I'm not,
depending on how much we want to. In a few months, we get kind of a few months, right?
Oh yeah,
we have the draft,
and then we got
all
summer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see much reason to
sprinkling in random facts about
Well, I don't see much reason to talk about OTAs or anything like that.
Usually he doesn't do that until August.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but
well,
you know what, though? I mean, it is, years ago we did this every week, right? Yeah. So now it's a little bit more, we wind up doing 2 shows a month. So if something doesn't happen once a month, then every other show we're talking about it, right? So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the NFL and on this show needs to go into dormancy moving forward on the next show, so that maybe we could talk a little bit about NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs.
No.
We can talk about that.
And surprisingly, hopefully we don't all have razor blades to our wrists by then. Baseball.
Yeah. That's a big
Well, listen, this particular show, it's probably a good idea that we might not talk a lot of baseball because it would just be a freaking bitch fest from all of us, I think, at this point. But well, actually, tonight, listen, I think it's important to talk about the NFL draft, but I agree. After that, there's nothing I really want to say till opening day. I don't want to talk about preseason or any of that stuff. I don't care about which draft picks are going to get signed or who's not going to get signed or whatever. Unless one of the all-time greats in the game gets hurt and is going to miss the season or something like that.
Pete wants the focus to be like a true Jet fan. opening day, and then never after week 3.
And then we don't have to talk until playoffs. And then I'm saying I don't have to talk about the Jets anymore. But there's really little I have to say in general until the playoffs, and then I can talk about every team that's in them, which is not the Jets. So
true story.
Week 1, and then one and done. That's it. That's the Jet fan podcasters motto. One and done.
The Jet seasons are really like Aaron Rodgers' first year with the Jets.
Yeah, it's.
It's
a lot of hype, a lot of build up, a lot of hope, and a quick letdown.
That was the epitome of a Jets NFL season in that instance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was like Testaverde Part 2.
Testaverde played a lot more.
He played a little bit more.
Minutes.
He did,
but played more than 4 plays.
Right, but Mike, I'm saying as far as the hopes crashing.
Yeah.
That's like okay. Well, that's
you're right. Though. That's a really good comparison. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we were
very accurate
because we were going somewhere. Yeah, we were going somewhere, and then that was that. We all just went.
There could be a 4-part documentary on because didn't Testaverde play for the Browns?
Yeah.
So I mean, there could be a 4-part documentary on just like the curse of being a Browns quarterback. Like you could go from the 60s to 70s, 80s, 90s, and of course the last 2 decades, and it could be like a 4-part just masterpiece on the sadness.
Well, and the thing about the Jets is he had one of, if not maybe his best statistical year, I think, was with the Jets.
Yeah, you're right.
And and then it was over.
It was a good pickup. It was a good pickup.
Yeah, it just didn't work out for that. For the long term. But anyway, let's start off not with football because we are going to do our top 10 draft picks and stuff, but a little bit of housekeeping, as you know, I love to do. A little bit of housekeeping. Little basketball housekeeping.
Loves to document our ineptitude.
Well, yeah, especially when it was 2 weeks ago. Because we're not, we're only on every other week, so a lot of stuff happens. But y'all might remember the NCAA tournament was going on a couple of weeks ago. And we had made some Elite 8 picks on for the men and Final 4 picks on for the women. So basically the way it worked out is I'll start with the women. We picked the Final 4, and then we picked, the championship or the semis and the championship and all that. We ended up 3 and 4. We all had 3 of the 4 Final 4s correct, and then none of us had anything right after that.
Nope.
So we all ended up 3 and 4. In a tie. For the men, it was even worse. It was not good. After the Elite 8, you guys were 2 and 6. I was 1 and 7. I got even. We were all even after the Final 4, or with the Final 4 picks at 2 and 10 because I picked Michigan to win the Midwest, and then I had them winning the semi. So with a amazing record of 3 and 11. I edged out you two at 2 and 12 for the championship. It was just brutal. We didn't have none of the other picks for the semis were correct. Not Wisconsin, not Virginia, not Gonzaga, not St. John's, not Houston, not Iowa State. And the final, Michigan was in it, but I didn't pick them to win, so that doesn't really count. So 3 and 11 to win the men, and 3 and 4 we all end up tied. For the men. So paltry. Thank God we didn't actually pay to put a bracket in anywhere. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. Mostly because I won, and I don't get to say that a lot. So not really much to gloat, but I just want to acknowledge,
I was the least worst. The least worst.
I was the best of the worst.
I was the best of the worst.
I was the least blind of the squirrels who found nuts that day. So the other basketball thing I wanted to talk about is at the end of last season, we did over-under totals for victories.
We did.
For this season. And we basically, the number of wins the team had last year, took a half a win off it, and then we said over-under. So I'm going to run through those results very quickly here because they are now all finalized. So Boston... This one was interesting. They won 61 last year. The over-under was 60.5. This was after the regular season. We picked them, or after the playoffs, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
They won 56 this year, which I don't think we expected. because Tatum was out and we weren't
biggest surprise in the NBA.
Biggest surprise, yeah.
But under nonetheless, though.
We right, and we all took the under, so we all got that one right. Houston was next, 52 wins last season, 52 wins again this year. So the over-under was 51.5. You guys took the over, you took the under, I took the over. So 1-1, 2-0. Phoenix was 36 wins last year. The over-under was 35.5. They won 45 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty impressive. Harry took the under. John and I took the over. Memphis, over-under 47.5. They won just 25. That's a pretty big surprise, too. We all took the under on that, so we were all right, although I don't think we were all expecting 25. But
No.
Portland won 36, so 35.5 was the over-under. They won 42. You guys both took the under. I took the over. Orlando, over-under was 40.5. They won 45. We all took the over on that. Atlanta, a surprise. The Trae Young trade is working out for them. They are I think they have the best record in the East through the end of the season after that trade. The over-under was 39.5. They won 46. John took the under. Harry and I took the over. We all took the under on Indiana. They won 19 as opposed to 50 last year. And then the Brooklyn Nets over-under was 25.5. I was a homer and took the over. They won only 20 games. So better than Indiana, but not much to speak about. So when it's all said and done, you guys, 9 choices here. You went 6-3. You both got Houston wrong. Harry got Phoenix and Portland wrong. John got Portland and Atlanta wrong. And my lone incorrect pick was the Brooklyn Nets.
Good for you.
So a couple 6-3s, and I went 8-1.
There you go.
So there we go.
Well, congrats to you, sir.
I'm 2-0 in things that I kept track of.
It's Pete's Day.
So, where is the
Pete's Day?
I don't know.
Anyway, I don't know. There's a graphic somewhere. I don't know where I put it.
I'm sure it's right there.
The air. It's right there.
It's right in front of your face, probably. I bet you it's
Maybe.
right.
No.
Look to the right.
Nope.
Not that far.
No,
it's on the shelf behind you. That's where it is.
I don't know what it didn't matter. Last thing for the NBA that I have here is, and this is still in progress. We talked about who was going to be moving on from the play-in tournament. And I said pick 2 teams. In the East, we had Philly, Charlotte, Orlando, and Miami. And in the West, we had the Suns, the Clippers, the Blazers, and the Warriors. So far, only the Blazers have moved on. But we should be seeing some scores on this ticker up in the corner there. Hornet has beaten the Miami Heat, but they're not out of the play-in yet. Sixers are beating the Magic right now, et cetera, et cetera. So the Blazers have moved on. They're the number 7 seed. And Harry, you picked that one as a yes. John and I took a no. So Harry leads 1-0 so far. And those other games are going to be decided tonight. And like I said, the Hornets did win, but they still have to play one more game before they officially get out.
The Heat are out.
The Heat are out, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. So you guys were right on that one, and I was wrong on that. So Harry has 2, John has 1, I am 0 for 2.
Okay.
And we'll keep you updated in another month.
There you go.
Actually, we probably won't be on the air long enough for it to be the games to end because we got because we got the Warriors playing the Clippers later. So, but we'll update you in the next show.
On the next show, yeah. And
let you know what's going on there. And that is all that I've got for basketball.
And the next very special blossom.
So,
all right.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. So let's move on. And we're going to talk some football.
19-year-olds are going to be overpaid. Which 19-year-olds are going to get paid?
Oh, all of them are going to get paid.
Oh, yeah. Which ones? I wonder.
We'll see which ones are going to be overpaid, though.
Oh,
so we're going to talk football, and we're going to show you our top 10 picks and all that stuff. We've got
scare me a minute. We're going to show you our what? We're going to
our top 10 picks.
We're going to show you our 10.
Yeah, we're going to show you our 10.
Our
I'm going to whip out my big
10.
10-inch. Whip out my big 10-inch record.
3.5ers and call it 10.
Hey, if I wear my glasses out in front of my face, it's a 10.
It's a 10. There you go.
Maybe even an 11.
If I measure, if I measure from my ankle, 10.5.
I like metric. Well, isn't that a Robin Williams joke?
Yeah.
I love the metric system because then I can say 120. Let's move on. We got some things to take care of.
Ooh, can you play that again? I love that.
No.
Looking at you with sultry eyes.
What do you think I'm looking at? Of course I'm looking at Malcolm.
It's funny that I was flipping through the channels. I was flipping through the channels a couple nights ago, and Rounders was on, and I tried to take a picture of the TV at the moment when he says, coming in for a quickie, but I missed it. I was going to send it to you guys.
Just really quick. Last night I had a conversation where John Malkovich came up. It was out with John Malkovich and or who was the guy from Jeff Goldblum. Mm-hmm. Which one of those two, either or both or neither, would own a kite? I don't need an answer. Think about it.
Yeah.
Chime in with your own prediction.
I gotta go with Goldblum.
I did too, but the other people were definitely on board with Malkovich owning a kite.
I think my instinct was Goldblum as well.
I could actually see Jeff Goldblum flying a kite and talking.
Me too. Yeah, of course.
But do you think that's like? Do we feel like or do you guys feel like we don't know him, but we know Jeff Goldblum maybe a little bit better, and we're able to address his personality, whereas Malkovich is sort of an enigma, and I don't know if the guy would fly a kite or not.
Well, maybe that's
kind of how I feel,
Yeah.
I asked
like Goldblum, you
me back.
Anyway,
exactly. You pay Goldblum, and for an apartments ad, he'll fly a kite.
That's true. That's true. I used to be when I used to go to the shore with my family in the summer. Flying kites was always
a kite episode on Portlandia. All right. Anyway,
there was an entire.
These are the things I think about. Now on to something that I don't think about.
Two stores devoted to kites on the island.
There you go.
Two
on OBI.
On OBI, yeah.
On OBI, yeah. You're right. No,
at least two.
I can picture one of them.
Yeah. I think it's called the Kite Store.
The Kite Store.
There's a lot of those. The ice cream shop, the Kite Store, the bookstore. They don't want to confuse people about what you get.
Note to self: bring up
very creative
actors and an obscure activity, and you could have a good conversation.
There you go.
Well, I'm just saying, you triggered a pleasant childhood memory.
That's right. John Malkovich flying a kite in your backyard,
and suddenly I'm 10 years old, flying a kite. Two rolls of string. You tie it to the dune fence right before you leave. You let it go out over the ocean.
There you go.
1,000 feet of line. Let it go as far as it wants, then you walk away. There's no good back home. There's nowhere to fly it back home.
There's nowhere to fly it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, just a quickie. What do we got?
Just a quickie. All right. This is NFL draft history. NFL draft history. Here's the quickie. All right. So my question to you, gents, is since OBJ was drafted, what has the New York Giants average draft position for the first round, obviously, draft position been since OBJ, including that year, since OBJ was drafted? So 13 years.
You mean what? Oh, you mean what spot?
What spot in the draft? Yeah.
Ooh.
5.
What year was what year?
2014. So the last, including this year, 13 seasons.
I'm going to go 5.
I'm going to go.
Yeah.
First pick, we're talking.
First pick, yeah.
I'll go 9.
All right, very good. Pete will win that one. 9.3 is the Giants' average draft position since then.
Or 10.
9. Well, not. It's 13 years. Obviously, it's going to be a point something. But
just a callback, John. Callback.
I understand.
Callbacks.
In the 2 years that they made the playoffs since then were the only 2 years that they were out of basically. So they were 25th pick in 23 because of the playoff run in 22, And then in 17, they were picking 23rd because of
They averaged 9.3.
9.3. There you go.
All right,
Now,
that's a quick.
Hold on. On that note, really quick, what's the Jets' average draft position in the first round in the same time frame?
Since Odell Beckham Jr. joined the Jets?
Yes.
Since 2014?
Yeah.
7.
I'll say 6.
All right. Harry is closer. 8.3, only 1 point off from the
Wow.
Jets. Yeah.
All right, now just quick opinion.
Yep.
Who has done a worse job?
The Jets.
The Jets.
Only because there's been a few bright spots for the Giants. And the Jets, whenever they do have a bright spot, they immediately trade them away.
Yeah. Or ruin them. Well, do you consider Beckham a bright spot?
Yeah.
Yes, because of what he did, or no, because of the way it ended?
Yes, because of what he did. But that's been the Giants' winning formula with receivers, especially young receivers, all the time, is that you draft them, you get the most out of them, and then you never re-sign them versa.
Yeah, I was going to say that you got the best of them.
There. So they actually did re-sign Beckham.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They broke their rule there.
Yeah. But would you say? But do you think that
had a couple really
getting rid of him and sending him to Cleveland ruined him, or he was going to blow up no matter what because it's just
it was already
Giants got the best out of him, and then it was like, okay, time to discard this. Yeah.
I think nowadays, if you get 2 good seasons out of somebody, you have to call it a success. I mean, I wouldn't going back 15 years, I wouldn't, but now I would be like, yeah.
Well, there was definitely you were definitely looking to hold on to people.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you were looking for reasons to keep people rather than not maybe looking for reasons to get rid of them.
Which is why we've averaged a 9.3 in the draft for the last 13 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, it ain't an 8.
No.
So you still got a ways to go.
One higher.
one higher.
Let me let you in on a little secret. It's about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
In the grand scheme, they're very similar.
Yeah, very similar. All right, so let's talk some picks, shall we?
All right.
All right.
All right, there you are.
All right.
Some important dates, whatever they were.
I don't know what that was. Hopefully it's not a...
Well, it was the draft, and then it was the opening.
No.
The
hopefully the
Hall of Fame
images
game.
Were not, copyrighted or anything.
Really quick, Vanessa Kitty says hi, Vanessa, and Dave Scardino.
Oh my goodness!
He said 6th, but I'm not sure whether he meant the Giants or the Jets.
Probably the Jets.
Yeah, probably. Well, hi folks, welcome aboard as always.
Welcome aboard.
Dave,
Let's talk about something you guys go on with the draft. I know nothing about any of these.
You do too.
Right.
You do.
Look, we have our picks. So what we did was we picked our first 1 through 10.
Yep.
And I'm going to pull them up one at a time here. And as the picks...
Slowly and painfully.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's no other way.
And discuss ad nauseum every single
one. But here's the way I did this, I find...
I'll be back in 45 minutes.
Listen, after about pick 6, you can duck out, and you're going to see why in a minute. Let's start with number 1. The Raiders, that we all agree, Fernando Mendoza is the man. Lots of talk about whether he's going to be any good or not amongst the pro pundits.
Not a big quarterback class this year.
No, it's not.
No. So not much to talk about there. That's the obvious.
I think Mendoza is going to be okay. Granted, he's going to the Raiders.
Yeah.
But they signed a veteran quarterback, so maybe they're on.
They're not. Well, I mean, they're also not going to probably throw him to the wolves right in the beginning too.
But we didn't know that, so I think that's a good move.
But they are the Raiders, so
yeah. But I think
game 2 or 3, he'll be out there.
No, that's what I mean. Like they could start out with the best of intentions, and then somebody,
But I think Brady's involvement now. I think he does not want to be known as somebody who's going to screw this up. Especially a quarterback pick this high.
True story.
Dave says Cousins will be good for him. Agreed.
Yeah, no.
All right, let's move on to number 2. And Harry and I like Arvell Reese, the edge rusher from OSU, going to the Jets. Johnny likes Carnell Tate, the wide receiver.
I do believe they're going to take a wide receiver, right?
Tate's been on. Tate could go as low as like 10th though in a lot of mock drafts. It's crazy.
No,
I'm not sure the injuries are really all that important.
Well, here's my reasoning really quick. The biggest acquisition in the offseason that the Jets made was Frank Reich.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and obviously Frank Reich's not going to give a damn about the defense. He's going to care about his offense, right? So I think I think they're going wide receiver.
But Frank Reich, let's face it, if you look him up on his bio, the most defensive quarterback ever to play the game.
Well, you're not wrong there.
I'll say this. I agree with what you said, Harry, about Frank Reich, but he ain't the head coach.
Yeah.
And Aaron Glenn's a defensive guy, and I think he and Darryl Muji are going to be in lockstep.
I think there's a lot of good defensive players in the top 10, 12 picks.
And I think that's where the Jets are. Now, look, they're the Jets. They still have a chance here. And when they traded away Gardner and they traded away, what was it, Williams or whoever it was, I said, look, they have all these picks now, but it's a lot of decisions they have to get right. But when you have all these picks, you can get half of them right, and it's still pretty good.
Half is great.
And I like what Muji did.
Everybody would sign up for getting half of their picks right.
Yeah, half of them being starters, good players, maybe a couple of Pro Bowlers out of the 7 first and second round picks they get in the next 2 years. That would be, anyone would sign for that. Here's the thing, though. We still have a little time before the actual draft, and the Jets can be the Jets. Muji had some success in the first draft. He seems to be pretty good at it. It's a small sample size, but I like what I saw, as a lot of Jets fans did. But my concern is they're going to trade a bunch of these picks away, and they're going to take all these multiple decisions and those opportunities to get something right, and they're going to take that out of Muji's hands and say, okay, well, now we're going to trade this all for whoever, a quarterback or whatever, and now it's going to be 1 or 2 decisions that have to be right.
Or the opposite. I could see them being one of those teams that somebody picks off, like Dallas, that moves up and says, hey, I'm going to give you multiple picks later in the draft or down in the first round, our first round pick plus 2 second rounders or whatever the case. So now the Jets have to make 3 or 4 more decisions,
right?
Which I could see them doing. It might not be a bad thing because they need a lot, and you just don't know. Better chance of getting one right when you got 3 top, 60 picks than if you only have 2.
Yeah, but 2 is
Two's
tough to pass up, and they got a 6 and 16. So. But I think overall, if they keep all their picks, they're going to go defense. All right, let's go to number 3 as we slowly disappear from view. Now, you guys, Cardinals have number 3. I think the Cowboys are trading up. Johnny likes Mr. Reese going to the Cardinals. Harry and I like David Bailey, the edge rusher from Texas Tech. Although, Harry, you think he's going to the Cardinals. I think he's going to the Cowboys.
I don't know. Or the Cardinals could draft him and then make a trade,
They could.
With some other, who knows how it's going to work. I don't know. I don't care. 4.
The Titans, Johnny and I like Jeremiah Love. And, you guys like Jeremiah Love. I'll take Sonny Styles from OSU. Heavy OSU early in a lot of these drafts and in my picks especially. So, look, it's the Titans. Who the fuck knows what they're going to do? They're
good at picking running backs. Let's face it.
Yeah, that they have so many holes.
They've had a couple good ones over there.
They have, but it hasn't really gotten them anywhere. So,
well, I don't know.
I mean, not for a while.
As a Giants fan, I'll take where the Titans were.
Yeah, okay, that's true. All right, number 5. You guys are the Giants fans, so I will let you defend your picks, and then I'll defend mine.
They need D-backs. They need defensive backs. They need to go defensive backs, and Caleb Downs, I think, is the obvious pick if they're going that way. That's who they need to get.
Here's my take. I don't disagree with John. They need a lot, but I think at this high in the draft, you take the best player, and this is a bit of a risky take, whether the Titans take him or somebody else takes Styles this high. But if you look at what this guy can do, he basically is a combination safety, linebacker, edge rusher who has incredible range and size, length primarily, who is a big enough guy to really play defense, but he fits into modern defenses perfectly. Now, I know the Giants have an offensive coach and blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot of people who are thinking maybe they'll go offensive line. We all know how that really goes these days. I think either of them will be made. I think Downs is pretty much rated as the highest, DB maybe, in the draft. But Styles could be a guy who could be either really, really good. He's not a finished product coming out of college, but his athleticism could turn him into a really, really flexible player on the defense. And the Giants, you think they're deep there, but they might not be.
Yeah. Well, listen, I had him going in round 4 to the Titans. So
yeah,
I agree with you about his sort of multi-position ability. Yeah. It's a big draw. Now, I took Jeremiah Love, and you're like, number 5 with the Giants. What are you, crazy? Here's the thing. Harbaugh, offensive guy, run first kind of guy. And I think he sees something in Jackson Dart, and he's going to want to protect Dart. And I know that, well, you've got Scattaboo, and you've got this and that. Look, Scattaboo's coming back off a really bad injury. Who's the other guy they like? Pierce or...
who they have?
Yeah, who they have.
Tyrone Tracy.
Tracy, that's it. It's kind of like offensive linemen. Can you ever have too many running backs? So I think John Harbaugh wants to keep Jackson Dart upright and help him mature, and he wants to be able to run, and that means he's going to need another.
Hey, look, if the Giants
they could find another running back,
I'd be happy. Yeah.
They could find another running back somewhere else, but I think he's going to.
Hey, last time the Giants got criticized for picking a running back really high in the draft, I thought it was a good pick.
Looking back at that, you have to say, it was a good pick. The
injuries aside and ineptitude around him, but hey.
Well, but it wasn't Saquon Barkley that kept Saquon Barkley from being phenomenal. It was a lack of talent around him and injuries. Yeah,
sure.
So. Number 6 to the Browns. You guys like this? This is the little brother of. Was his brother? I think was drafted by the Jets last year. Maui Goa. I don't know. Maui Goa. Tackle out of Miami. You guys both like him for the Browns. Now, are you thinking they want to get him to help protect Shedeur Sanders, or whoever they decide is going to be their quarterback,
or whoever's going to be
whoever?
I think off the ball.
Again, they need so much that he's pretty highly rated.
Yeah.
If you can find an offensive tackle that can actually play in the NFL in the draft, then you have to. And everything you read about this guy, he's ready to step in and play right now. And I'll be honest, I will not be surprised if the Giants don't. I think he's also a name that I would not be shocked if the Giants took him with the 5th pick.
With the 5th, yeah. Well, listen, I don't know if they're sold on Shedeur Sanders or not. I hope they are, because I'd like to see him play. But I took Carnell Tate because I think they want to get him some weapons. I think they'll, he's going to need guys to protect him, but I think they're thinking we can find offensive linemen somewhere. So, number 7, the Commanders. Johnny's got Sonny Styles from OSU. Harry's got Reuben Bain Jr. out of Miami.
We all have him going D.
And I have Caleb Downs, the safety out of OSU. So the Commanders need defense, which is true. That's exactly what they need.
Yeah.
Number 8, the Saints. And here is an outlier, our first outlier, which is Denzel Boston. And by that, I mean somebody that no one else picked.
There you go.
And that's Johnny's pick out of Washington, the wide receiver. Harry's on board with Tate going 8 to the Saints. And I'm taking Mansour Delaney, the defensive back out of LSU. So offense, defense for the Saints.
They want to give they're going to want to give Tyler Shaw another weapon.
Yeah.
And they're going to focus on that. So I think after Tate is off the board, I think he's the next wide receiver.
Boston is the next guy. Yeah. All right. Well, there's Mr. Delaney coming up in your next pick, number 9 for the Chiefs.
Yep.
And the other outlier, or another outlier here, Spencer Fano, or Harry there, the tackle out of Utah. I looked at him too, because obviously you want to keep Patrick Mahomes upright. And the other outlier is the Chiefs do. Yeah,
Chiefs do.
It's right. Everyone, the Chiefs and no one else want to keep Patrick Mahomes upright. And the other outlier so far here is my pick of T.J. Parker, the edge rusher out of Clemson. I think they want to keep opposing offenses off the field so that Patrick Mahomes can have more time on the field. And so
I will say one thing about the Chiefs. I will not be shocked if Tate drops down and he's available. I could see him in a Chiefs uniform.
And he'd probably be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe they'll return to glory. And then number 10, Johnny's on board with Reuben Bain Jr. from Miami.
Oh, they got to fix that defense. That's for sure.
Yeah, they definitely do. And Harry coming in with Caleb Downs, who's been mentioned. And here's the other outlier is Jermod McCoy from Tennessee. So defense for the Bengals. Just a couple of secondaries and then an edge rusher. So those are our projected top 10 picks.
This is one area where we don't always get the teams right, but we have a pretty decent. If you took all 10 of the players that we choose, I would say we get 60 to 70% of them right. With it, being in the first 10, usually, right?
Usually,
yeah. That's not bad.
Well, I'll tell you what.
It's better than what's his name. I mean,
it's better than Mel Kiper.
Kiper, yeah. Well,
every year I do 27 minutes of research on this, and I do better than Mel Kiper.
Well, here's the thing. I saw today, and maybe it was not the first day that the news was out, but I saw today that not only Mel Kiper, but Stephen A. Smith were both saying, I think the Cowboys are going to move up. And I went, I got to change that immediately. Because I had already decided that I think that's what's going to happen. And just the fact that those two guys were sort of agreeing with me. Again, they might have said it first. I don't know. But I was like, I don't know. I might have to change that. But I decided to go with it because I don't know. Either we'll all be wrong or we'll all be right. You know what? Let's do a little over under.
Okay.
Over.
Under.
Well, I've got no chance of losing this time.
Nope, not that one. This is so hard. All right, whatever. Anyway, so 3 of us, 10 picks. That's 30 picks. We're just talking about we often get the players right, or more often get the players right than the actual teams they're going to. So let's do a little over under. How many of the guys we picked? How do we want to do this? How many will be right as far as the player in the round?
Right. Well,
would that be the simplest way to do it?
That would be the simplest way to do it. But what I think you should put up the graphic again for the picks, the total, the final shot.
Yeah, hang on. I gotta find it here. I forgot what I named it. I pulled up the wrong one.
It's just like Good Morning America.
It is. I mean, it's endearing. It's endearing.
That's one way.
You can look at it that way. I do.
I mean, you have to.
You have to.
I don't know where it is.
It was just on the screen a minute ago.
All right, I'm gonna make this easy. The over/under is 6.5.
No, here we go.
Pick your own.
Hold on. There were 3 outliers, right? There were 3 outliers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go.
There we go.
No, not that one. Not that one. No, it ain't there.
I'll take Seattle.
You can take Seattle again, huh?
Seattle and the over.
There it is.
There it is. All right.
There it is.
All right. So,
all right.
Let me do a little quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So there's 30, John.
Oh, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different players. There's a total of 14 different players out of those 30.
All right. So let's put the over-under of those 14 players at...
No, it's how many, just the over-under of how many we will each get.
No,
How many of our
I think-
10 selections will be in the top 10?
All right, that's fair.
Individually or just in general?
Individually.
All right, that's fine. You want to do that? That's fine.
Yeah, that's
sorry,
easy.
I know where Pete was going with that.
Yeah, I know where you were going.
That's fine.
It's just I can't do that kind of.
All right. So do you want to set your own over-under? Or should I just...
I think all of ours.
Over-under.
I think it should be 6.5. Just make it easy. Make it a little.
we have
high,
we have 10 picks, so let's do 6.5.
Yeah. I'm going over for mine.
All right. And that is for the players in the top 10
Yeah.
that we picked.
Now, for that to that point, they don't have to be exactly the way any of us picked.
No.
them.
just within the top 10.
If you right, how many of your picks actually end up in the top 10?
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm going over.
All right. John's going over. Harry, I think you're the best at this.
Yeah, I think I'm right around 7 or 8 every year, but I don't know. I want to say maybe under. I think I'll get 6. Will I get? I'll go over. I'll be optimistic. I'll go over.
All right.
All right, I'm going to go under. It's because I've got...
Because that's what you do.
Yeah, I've got a couple. Well, I think last year I was pretty good.
I don't know. In all the NBA picks, he went over. He was the
are
optimistic
usually
one.
pretty good. So
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm going to throw an extra one in here. As John said, there's 14 players. So how many of the 14 players that are on this list are going to actually be on this list after the draft? And I'm going to set the over-under.
I think all 14 will be in the top 10.
I'm going to set it at...
I think 10 of the 14 will be in the top 10.
I'm going to set it at 10.5.
10.5?
10.5.
What?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going under.
I'm going under. Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is a better bet than.
How
all right, you know what?
How can it be over, Pete?
Well, it's 14 guys.
Only 10 of them can be in the top 10.
Madonna mia.
But no. But we have different players in different spots.
Right, but
but only 10 of the 14 are going to wind up in the top 10.
Yeah.
We don't have 3 different drafts.
Yeah.
No, but it's how many names?
Oh, just random names? Well, they have a first name and a last name. Some of them have a middle.
Well, look, how many are guys that were not picked at some point by all 3 of us? Nobody took T.J. Parker and Jermod McCoy except for me. Nobody took. I guess Spencer Fano.
There could still only be 10.
There's still in the top 10. There can only be 10 players picked in the top 10. So we only have 14 names.
But we're talking about 30 picks. Oh no, we're not. No, because we have. You're right. You're right. I was okay. So let's go.
So John and I are going under. Pete's going over. On that.
Let's go 6.5 again.
6.5 over. I'm going over.
Over, yeah.
All right. I'm going to go over 2, and that's cumulative for all of us.
Cumulative.
Yeah. All right. So I'll take the under individually, and everybody's taking the over for everything else.
The over under is 10.5. Under.
I was thinking the 14 names. How many of them will be on there?
I wish I could have got that in on Sportsbet really quickly.
Listen, see if you can put it in. See if you can put it in FanDuel. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So
Radio Pete's guaranteed wins.
That's our over under.
There's going to be 12 players named in the top 10.
It's very Yogi Berra.
What can I say? I'm a radio guy, not a mathematician. Damn it, Jim.
Damn it, Jim.
All right. Let's move on to a little more draft stuff here.
what is real?
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Pretty sure none of that's real.
You're not real.
For real, for real, for real. Yeah. What is real?
All right. Are they for real? And what we're talking about here, we did our top 10. So now we're going to talk about the teams that have right now the 11 through 16 picks. And I'm gonna ask you guys for each of them, do you think any of them are going to move up? So the number 11 pick is the Miami Dolphins. So John, let's start with you. Do you think they will move up?
No.
No, they will not. All right. John says no. Harry?
No.
No. I'm going to say no. Obviously, I think that Dallas is going to move up. Either of you guys want to take a gamble? I mean, I know we picked the 10 as though they were not moving up, but, you know.
I feel like every year there's a report that Dallas is going to move up.
I don't think Dallas is going to move up. And
I
more
don't think
so,
they're going to move up either.
more for two reasons. One, he's going to have to give up. Jerry Jones is going to have to give up a lot of draft capital to move up, and he's not going to. They need more players. They can utilize those picks for, right? That's number one. And number two, I don't think he's going to find a taker to move up with.
I got him moving up to 3, so we'll see. But so does Stephen A. Smith and Mel Kiper. So.
Well, we know.
All right.
That goes.
Number 13 picks is the Rams from Los Angeles. Yes or no?
No.
No.
I'm going to say no. Baltimore Ravens.
No.
Yeah.
These are probably all going to be no for you guys.
Well, remember, pick 19 can move to pick 13, and it's not going to affect our top 10. So, I'm just being hypothetical.
I'm saying teams that are going to
Move up at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's pick the 2 that you think would most likely to move up.
Well, one of them's in the top 10. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
So we got Miami, Dallas, the Rams, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and the Jets. That's 11 through 16. So pick 2 of those that you think are the most likely to move up.
Where do the Texans pick?
That's a good question.
I think the 2 teams that I could see moving up are Kansas City and Houston.
Well, neither one of them are in the 11 through 16 spot.
Or the Saints. So I'll take the Saints and the Chiefs as the 2 teams that I think will move up.
All right. So Harry likes the Saints. We'll do it a little bit differently. That's a good idea.
I think the Chiefs need a wide receiver, and I think they're going to move up to make sure they get him.
All right. I'm going to take the Cowboys. And so these are guys you think are going to move up in the first round. Not necessarily into the top 10, but somewhere.
Yes.
All right.
Well, they're already in the top 10, both of them, right? So.
Yeah, that's true. But they could use a later pick to move up, too.
Sure.
So I'm going to take the Cowboys. And I think I'm going to go... I don't even know where anybody else is drafting. I'm going to go Baltimore. I think Cowboys and Baltimore.
I think the Raiders might move up.
Two number ones. They're going to trade their number one for a number 1.5. A number 1.5 and a 4.
They want to pick. They want to beat themselves to the pick.
Yeah. We're going to pick, and then we're going to pick again.
You know what? I'll tell you right now. Now we're doing the whole draft. We're just through 20 or the whole draft.
Just pick
first round. Anybody in the first round who's going to move up in the first round.
You told me you couldn't, so that's why I picked 2 others.
All right. I can see the Texans moving up, and I can see the Lions moving up.
My top 2 are the Texans and the Chiefs. If I have to pick 2 from your list that you told me, then it would be the Chiefs and the Saints. I don't care. Next segment.
Yeah.
Well, no, just which two do you think?
I told you.
Texans and Chiefs. He's Texans
and Chiefs.
There you
All right, Texans and Chiefs.
And
John likes Texans and Lions.
Lions.
I'm going to take the Cowboys, and I'll stay with the Ravens.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And that is over under, or rather, are they for real?
That is the over under segment of the Are They For Real segment.
Yes. Over. How many? What is the over under on Are They For Real segment?
The last part of the over under was pick two teams.
Yeah. Well, was it going to be 1.5?
And
1.5.
And John and I both agreed that the over under players chosen in the top 10, what an over under a 10.5 will be the under.
I think 10 players will be selected in the first.
Pete's not convinced.
I think it's still mathematically possible, and I'm going to spend every waking moment proving it.
That's right.
Even if I have to use fuzzy math to do it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to a little something that we like to call Johnny's Five.
Johnny's Five.
Look at that. That guy.
There will be music at some point. Not yet.
A little dab will do you, huh? I guess.
Little dab will do you. There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Johnny's Five. All right.
So here we go. Top 5 list. Something.
Kicking off, yeah. So we used to do, if you're a long time listener of the show, God help you. Which one call it? We used to do our top 10 lists, and we used to do them in the beginning. We did them every week, but then we relegated them every other week. We haven't done them in a good year and a half.
I sent you some good lists, but they fall on deaf ears because
So no, you have. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So I'm going to start another one. It's the top 5 list, and it's just my top 5 of whatever.
Whatever's on my mind.
Whatever's on my mind, right? Whatever topic it is, and then we're going to discuss. And then this could turn into Harry and Pete, adjusting it to their 5, depending on what it is. So it's just a little small, cute little segment. So anyway, so the inaugural one is going to be for the draft, and we're going to call this Giants non-first round draft picks since 2000. So in this century, top 5 players that were picked by the Giants in the draft from the year 2000 on in this century, right? Not in the first round. First rounders don't count. This is second round and forward. All right. My number 5. I'm going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My number 5 is Brandon Jacobs.
Yeah, good one.
All right. It's picked in the 4th round of the 04 drafts. Definitely up the top of the food chain, if you will, in the non-first round picks in this century.
Well, this is the best non-first round picks?
Best non-first round picks by the Giants in this century.
Okay.
Since 2000. All right. So Brandon Jacobs, 4th round pick, 4th round pick in 04. Number 4, Chris Snee.
Yeah.
All right. He was the 2nd round pick in 04.
Same draft. Marry like the GM's daughter or something? Was that him?
He did. Yeah.
Good for him.
No, he married Tom Coughlin's daughter.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's points.
Yeah,
points in my book.
A few, right? Number 3, staying on the offensive line, David Deal. 5th round pick in 03. All right. Number 2, O.C. Umanura. 2nd round pick in 03.
Well, we all know who number 1 is. Oh no, wait, no, never mind. Sorry, that was way before 2000. So, sorry.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And my number 1 pick the Giants had after the first round since 2000 would be Mr. Justin Tuck. 3rd round pick in 05. So all 5 of these players were within 3 drafts: 03, 04, and 05. So nobody really can hold a can. Nobody drafted. The only one that came close for me, if you want to throw an honorable mention in there, would be David Tyree.
I'm going to throw one other out there, and I don't know if it should be in your top 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Corey Webster.
Corey Webster was certainly in the running. Just what these guys did, what
I know.
I couldn't see Corey Webster's. If I did a top 10, Tyree, Webster, they'd definitely be on there. But I couldn't see either of those two edging out these. And any of the more recent ones, it's still jury's not out yet. For any of them to even compete with these guys.
By the way, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Webster, Tuck, and Brandon Jacobs were all in the same draft.
Tuck was in 05, Brandon Jacobs and Chris Snee were in 04, David Deal and OCU Manura were in 03. Corey Webster was
he also 2000?
He might have been 05. He might have been 05 or 06. Yeah, he might have been 05.
So 05 was a big Tuck, Webster, Jacobs, all 05.
Jacobs 04. Yeah, those 3 years, those 3 drafts, 03, 04, and 05. And of course, the Giants didn't draft, and the Giants' number 1 draft pick in 04, Phillip Rivers. I mean, come on. So, which obviously turned into Eli Manning, but you couldn't keep that in. But that's, again, first rounder. That doesn't qualify for this particular list. So, for me, those are my top 5. And, you make a good point, though. With
Jacobs was drafted in 05, John.
I had him as 04.
His Giants history was 2005.
No. I typed it wrong. You're right.
Yeah,
you were right. It's 05.
That was I for some reason I remember that being a really good draft class for them.
No, you're right. My bad. It's 05. That's right. Chris Snee was the outlier. He was the only 04 one. Obviously, the whole Manning trade in the beginning there, but the rest of the draft, Chris Snee was definitely that. You're right. My bad. Jacobs was in 05.
I think your list is good. Corey Webster would be the only guy one of the offensive, not Snee, but the other offensive lineman, Deal.
David Deal.
They
all were. David Deal, Chris Snee, Sean O'Hara. They were all, my God, that line.
Webster was a good player, but he didn't have the longevity maybe of those other guys. So.
Yeah, fair enough.
But he was a lockdown corner, man.
He was fantastic.
How about now? Do you put a little more weight on them depending what round they were drafted in, or
no, just what they did with the team.
Just after, okay.
Most of them were second rounders. Jacobs was 4th, right?
Jacobs was 4th rounder. David Deal was a 5th rounder.
5th rounder, yeah.
Where would you put Ahmad Bradshaw? Where would you put Ahmad Bradshaw?
Ahmad Bradshaw he'd be
not enough tenure, or
top 10.
He'd be in the top 10. No, yeah. Bradshaw would be in the top 10. Again, Tyree would be in the top 10. Corey Webster would be in the top 10.
Bradshaw was just good, couple good years, and then.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Not enough longevity. But
yeah, I mean that's
a Super Bowl. They won a Super Bowl with him, right?
Yeah,
or he won a Super Bowl with them, but he was a big part of it.
The running back tandem of
wasn't he the idiot who ran into the end zone and when they wanted him to stop on the
he wanted to stop on the 1 yard line and he fell into the end zone.
Oh yeah. All right, so he's out. He's top 11.
He was Tiki Barber's replacement.
Yeah, he was. Barber,
Tiki Barber got out just a little too soon.
Yeah, whatchamacallit? He just a year too soon. I
don't know. Top Giants running backs all time. Ahmad Bradshaw might be the top.
Ahmad Bradshaw's up there. Ahmad Bradshaw's up there. Obviously, Tiki's up there, but Ahmad Bradshaw's up there.
He's in the top 5, 6, 7.
OJ Anderson is up there.
Yeah, I know. But if you look at Bradshaw's numbers, they're
and of course, how can you forget Tyrone Wheatley? I mean,
yeah, right. Well, Joe Morris.
Well, yeah. Well,
what about Ron Dane?
Joe Morris is for real.
Ron Dane was the biggest draft, maybe one of the biggest draft busts.
Ron Dane was the second biggest draft bust on the Giants.
Yeah.
Eric Flowers being number 1. And
oh God,
Evan Neal and Eli Apple aren't too far behind both of those. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's not forget about
Eli Apple.
Well, but the thing is, Eli Apple went on to have a couple decent years after that and won a Super Bowl, didn't he? With Kansas City.
He won a Super Bowl. I think you're right. I think with Kansas.
Didn't everyone win a Super Bowl with Kansas City?
Hey, Kadarius Toney won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. All of the Giants' problems went to Kansas City and won a Super Bowl.
Oh man,
you gotta love it. There you go. That's my. That's the.
What the hell?
How was that?
trying to find some other picks for your list there. I don't think I want to care what those guys do.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Now
This is
we got
crazy.
to get him on the show though. So
No, I don't think so. They weren't on for long enough.
no,
Are we done with the one sport that's not active right now?
yeah, no, that was the end of the show. That was the end of the show. Yeah, that was the end of the that was the end of the list.
If only
that's,
I'm
the
so
inaugural.
hungry.
That's the inaugural Johnny's 5.
Johnny's
There
5.
we
I
go.
like Johnny's 5. It's almost like here's 27-16 got to stay.
It's not as bad as that.
No, there's less
Johnny's
writing.
Johnny's 5. There you go. Well, we'll have music next time.
Yeah.
John, you look like a weird character from Archer in that graphic.
I was going to say
that was my character from Archer, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is very, hey,
You
make
were
me
the-
look
you were-
good.
You were the
AI.
limo driver for the Bolivian drug king, and
I love the hair. I love the black hair and the gray beard.
There you go.
well, I mean, I like that half your suit is pinstriped and the other half isn't.
All right, it's a shadow. That's a shadow. Yeah, it's a shadow.
Well, it looks like your lapel on the left side there has the pinstripe as well.
It's a glow from the sun coming.
It's a glow.
Yeah, there you go. It's
From all the product you have in your hair.
it's a digital glow.
It's a
All right,
sheen.
that's Johnny's 5. All right, let's move on to questions / opinions / factoid /
Factoid of the day.
idea / saying / idiom of the day.
Can I raise a practical question at this point?
Well, if you just answer the question.
Do you want it? Are you sure? Well, here it is. The question of the day.
That's great. I'm sorry. All right. So today's question of the day is not a question. It's a factoid of the day. It's a statement of the day. Interesting sports fact of the day, if you will. So here we go. I just want to let you two gents know, and everybody else out there, in case you haven't figured this out already or haven't seen it reported already. All right. This is the first year in NHL history that the Rangers, the Devils, and the Islanders.
Yeah, Pete and I were talking about this before you got on there.
Have missed the playoffs in the same year. There's always been a year since the Devils were the Devils and the Islanders were the Islanders. Obviously, Rangers were the Rangers before that, and at some point they missed the playoffs without them. But since all three teams were in existence, this is the first time. So what's that? 40 some odd years. 45 years, 40. Well, Devils were. I don't think. No, we're not counting the Rockets.
Oh yeah, Devils. Okay. Yeah.
Devils in 81, 82, whatever. So 42 years. This is 44 years. This is the first time in those 44 years that all three teams have missed the playoffs in the same year. So there you have it.
There we go. Even less
reason.
to.
There's a really great cheesy documentary on the Islanders dynasty. It's about 45 minutes long on YouTube. If you want to hear some really bad sax music and some horrible audio clips,
I'm always looking for really bad sax music. So.
It's worth it. I did. It's funny because I was looking at. I was watching some hockey the other day, and I wanted to bring up just that fact, which was just how bad the New York Metropolitan hockey teams are this year. And so of course I found some podcast clip where they were picking the Mount Rushmore of the Islanders. And
boy.
So it's there ain't nobody current on that Mount Rushmore.
No, that's for sure.
No.
Would you put Tavares? Would you put? He's not.
I was going to say Tavares would be the only guy that.
Now, the only question I have with there's two that are no brainers, and the love for Potvin is obviously warranted. The real question.
Hey, you ask any Ranger fan what they think of Dennis Potvin.
Yeah, but if they don't have their head up their ass, they'd agree he's one of the best players to ever play the game.
Of course. That's why they say it.
But you are talking about Ranger fans, so it can be a hard find to.
Yeah, true. So I mean, it's obviously it's obviously Bossy and Trottier and Potvin. The fourth one, it's either Billy Smith or Al Arbor for me. And I think I'd go with a player and go with Billy Smith. But
I'd go with Billy Smith.
Now we go Billy Smith. Yeah.
Al Arbor did something that no one really has done in a very, very long time. And
cultivated trees.
Well, he won 4 straight Stanley Cups, went to 5 in a row, which the other thing is that the Islanders won 19 straight playoff series. 19 straight playoff series.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Well, you kind of have to if you win 4 cups in a row.
I'm just saying, when you look at it that way,
it's not like you could go 18-1 and
no, but I'm just saying.
Then
I'm just saying. That team. People always talk about the bias of New York and blah blah blah. That team is gets the biggest short stick when it comes to recognition of all great sports franchises. There are people who don't even know, that live on Long Island right now, that don't know that the Islanders won 4 straight Stanley Cups, and don't know that Mike Bossy has the highest goal per game average of anyone in the history of the NHL, or even who Dennis Potvin or Brian Trottier are. And I think it's a sin. I think because they were always in the shadow of the Rangers. But there you go.
Yeah. Well, listen, I can tell you this. Part of that bias.
Fuck Ron Duguay.
I got a bumper sticker that says that. Part of that bias is the fact that it's Long Island, which is just one of the worst fucking places on the planet.
But
man.
It was
horrible.
That's what made it great, is that their fans were blue collar. They had to create. They were one of the worst teams when they became an expansion team. And within 10 years, they were one of the most successful sports dynasties in all of sports, not just hockey, all of sports.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, but I would say could be, potentially tempered by, they're
tempered by what?
Well, there are other teams that had great dynasties too in hockey.
Since, the Edmonton Oilers. No. After that, who else? The best 3 dynasties are the Canadiens, the
Islanders,
and Edmonton.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, and Edmonton didn't won 5, but they didn't win 4 in a row.
Yeah,
they won 2 and 2. So, and they didn't go to 5 in a row. So, yeah. And it's not like the Islanders lost to they were beating good teams, they lost to Gretzky and the Edmonton. They just had one dynasty took over the other.
Well, but the other thing is, how many? We're talking decades ago, half a century ago. So I don't think you could really get on people. If they're not a hockey, if you're a hockey fan and you live on Long Island, you should know the history of the Islanders. Unless they're not your team,
fan, you should know about this stuff. And I think it's lazy now for a lot of younger people. I never saw Bob Cousy fucking play, but I knew about the history of the Boston Celtics. I knew about the Montreal Canadiens.
Right.
I was interested enough in going back and understanding the history of sports.
And you know me forever. You know that I do that too, and that's what we do here, right? But I have a question for you. Based on that, Montreal, over the course of 13 seasons, 13 NHL seasons, the Montreal Canadiens, the Edmonton Oilers, and the New York Islanders won Stanley Cups.
Yep.
Only one other team in those 13 seasons won a cup. Who was it?
The Utah Mammoth.
That's a good question. I think it was the Flyers.
Nope.
No?
I'll say
the Canadian team or
the Bruins. Was it the Bruins?
No, it wasn't the Bruins.
It wasn't the Rangers.
It wasn't.
Blackhawks?
Nope.
We'll just keep naming teams until someone stumbles across.
Canadian team or an American?
It's a Canadian team.
Yeah. So it was the Calgary Flames.
Flames, yep. So yeah, from 76, Canadians won 4 in a row. The Islanders won 4 in a row. The Edmonton Oilers won 2. Then the Canadians won 1.
And then Lanny McDonald, who came from Toronto to Calgary, won in between. Yep.
And then Edmonton won another 2, and then Calgary won in 89, and then Edmonton won their 5th in 90.
But I'm just saying, I don't think you can really get down on people who, like guys our age. Yes, you should know.
No,
right? Because we were around. But
I don't buy this. I don't buy it, Pete. I don't
if you're 30 years old, And maybe you became. You're not a hockey fan from the day you were born, right? You got to be.
No, but I'm not.
It's not. Here's the thing. It's not. I went to his point, and I think this is where he's going with this. But in not just hockey, in any sport. When I was 30, when I was 20, when I was a teenager, I knew history of those sports. Right. I could tell you things that happened before I was born when I was a teenager. In fact, even younger than that. Because I looked, not the farther you go back. I'm saying these people could be 30 years removed from this, and you might not have known as much as you think when you were 20 years old, and it was 30 years removed. You're looking at it like that, yeah. Where I think what I'm referring to, and
for guys our age or around our age or in their 40s or whatever, I agree that you should know a little something about it. But I think people that younger than that, how far back do you really have to, And I mean,
you got to go back further now.
Are you saying you're not a fan if you don't go back and research the history of the game?
What I'm saying is that the recency bias and the laziness and the sort of arrogance of it. Look, I'm of the era of Patrick Ewing and John Starks. I am smart enough and a student of basketball to know that Willis Reed and Clyde Frazier are way better than anybody that's been on the Knicks since. Okay, it's just a fact.
Right, but they're quote unquote of or semi of your era. They're not as far.
They were
but my point is they're not as
when I was born. And before,
right? But you're still not as far removed as maybe some other.
Right. Well, I don't even think he's saying that somebody that's a Knicks fan now should know who Willis Reed and Clyde Frazier are.
I'm saying there's a laziness and an arrogance.
There's kids that were born in 1990 that don't know who Patrick Ewing and John Starks are. That's what he's saying.
But it's
a recency bias.
And right. And I would add to that.
History started when they started watching the sport. That's when the history started.
But I would also add to that if you want to criticize them even more, it's much easier to find that stuff out now.
Exactly.
When we were 25, if you wanted to know the history, you either had to find a book
to the library,
or look it up. You went to the library, or you asked the guy at the end of the bar who was there for every game and had been for 60 years of his life, and he could tell you about the history. You couldn't just pull it up right there.
If you're going to argue with me about sports, you better go and do your nerd research. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
Don't leave out the past.
And it's pretty easy to do. Yeah.
That is 100% true. All right.
But
all right.
Look, I can't really complain about anybody not knowing anything because I don't know anything other than sporadic facts that happen to be burned into my particular brain cells.
Some good old ones that I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I have a few memories that are sticking, but
you know more than you like.
I also like how you combine names to create new players that never existed.
Sam Bradford Darnold would never exist.
Sam Bradford Darnold. One of these days, he's going to have to learn that his middle name is Bradford.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he'll.
When we get him on the show before the season starts, then
hopefully he'll embrace it and he'll own it.
Absolutely. Right. There you go.
Anything we want to say about baseball? The Mets suck. The Yankees suck. I saw a post today. I love these people who get on, and so this woman gets on and she goes, "Here's the problem with the Yankees," and I'm like, "Okay, drop some knowledge on me here. You got to stop relying on the long ball."
She's not dumb.
I'm like, no, she's not wrong. But I'm like, really? That's your sage. That's been true for how many years now? You're not giving me anything new here that I didn't already know.
Here's my takeaway with the beginning of baseball is that there's only one good team in the league. Really good team in the league.
Yeah, obviously.
The Braves.
Number two, everything I've said ad nauseum about the Yankees is exacerbated this year. Their bottom of their lineup is horrible. I will wait and be patient. Their starting pitching is going to be okay, especially when Cole and Rodon come back. But their bullpen is not. They don't have a reliable closer. Their middle relief is shaky. The bottom of the lineup is maybe the worst in the league, and they do not know the fundamentals of baseball. And Jazz Chisholm, if he doesn't want to fucking play in the cold, or just if you really think you're worth that much, just trade him now. Get the fuck rid of him. I'm sick of watching professional baseball players not know that you can catch the ball and tag a runner and throw a guy out. And this is my other takeaway. The Tampa Bay Rays, I have a hard time not liking them. They play a brand of baseball. They should not be at the top of the American League East, and they are because they know how to manufacture runs, and their speed and small ball confuses the fuck out of incompetent baseball dumb teams like the New York Yankees. And look, the Yankees, I'm not really one to jump on this bandwagon. It's too early. But if the Yankees don't win 95 games this year, Aaron Boone's got to go. Anyway, that's my Yankees wrap up. The Mets will be fine, I think, once Soto gets back. Hopefully it's not a big injury. They also are falling right into what I told you guys was going to be the thing, is that the Mets are going to have a year where they got to figure out what they have. But what they have is going to be good. They have to gel. The chemistry is not there.
There's no chemistry because they have a bunch of position players that have filled positions from players that were let go.
Right.
But they're playing out of position. All of them are playing out of position.
And here's the other thing globally in baseball. Most, not all, most high percentage of really good baseball players are off to miserable starts at the plate. Miserable. Yeah. And even some of the top pitchers are off to pretty shaky starts on the mound. I don't know what it is. We could be the World Baseball Classic. I don't know. But look.
It makes for lousy watching.
It makes for lousy watching when Francisco Lindor and Aaron Judge neither of them are hitting above 230. It's the hitting in baseball makes me not, the inability for somebody to just put a bat on the ball at certain parts of the game drives me insane. The bottom of the Yankees lineup and the top of the lineup with Grisham is painful. It's painful. And hand claps to Ben Rice. He's not great at first base, but he's hitting the ball. That's my Yankees summary.
It's the only way they scored a run yesterday.
Yeah.
Sack fly.
Yeah. And
all right. Not much for us New Yorkers to cheer about right now.
No.
But I think we all kind of said about the Mets. Let's give David Stearns a chance here. Let's see what happens. A lot has to come together, though. I do remember saying there's a lot of, and John, you said the same thing. There's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of new pieces, and it'll take time for everything to gel. But we're in the middle. Again, it's only the middle of April, so we still have time. But all of a sudden it's the middle of May, and then it's the end of May, and
for the Mets, you don't know. You got to give them grace because there's so many new pieces.
Right. The Yankees are just it's the same old story.
Let's roll it back because we had such a great team, and they have not improved anywhere with the exception of maybe one or two players at the plate. Their starting pitching's still not what it needs to be, but they just don't understand the basics of baseball. And it is so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Cross our fingers.
Yeah. Listen, it's a long season.
It's a long, painful season.
We'll see. We'll see if the medicine starts to kick in at any point during the regular season.
Yeah.
Let's see what's happening with the basketball scores here. So we know the Hornets won.
Let me ask you guys a little bit of the topic that's at the top of everybody's news stream today. But do you think that was a intentional dirty play by Ball on Bam Adebayo?
I don't know if I would say intentional, maybe not.
I don't think it was premeditated. However,
I think it was careless was the word that I would use.
Yeah, and I didn't in real time. I didn't really notice it, but when I watched the replay, I was like, yeah, this is pretty definitive. That I don't mind physical play, but when you're pulling guys' legs out from underneath them, that's cheap shit. And I think retrospectively, I think that you might see a suspension for Ball.
Yeah,
I think it would be warranted.
Yeah, I do too.
Definitely.
And it's too bad because Bam Adebayo, look, you got to give that guy credit. He, played in the NBA Finals a few years ago, obviously against the Nuggets. Was a really good player. He's really become the Heat's best player and kind of an unsung star in the league. And I'm not sure the Heat lose that game if he's on the court. Sorry.
Well, and listen, what is for the non-Heat fan, the basketball fan, what do we know about Bam Adebayo based on this year? He scored however many points it was in that game, 81 or 78.
Yeah, right.
But other than that, it wasn't like, oh, Bam Adebayo, a top 10 player of the week again. Nobody. I mean, obviously the pundits weren't really talking about him all the time. I'm sure in Miami they were, in Florida they were.
The Heat,
nationally,
a lot of
no attention till he scored.
Because they don't have
whatever he scored.
They don't have a star. They've always had LeBron or Dwayne Wade, or they had Jimmy Butler, who was kind of this maybe a star.
He was an anti-hero.
Yeah,
he's a good,
exactly.
Great player. Playoff Jimmy was great, but he was an anti-hero. So
they're just a team that goes about, and I would say the Heat kind of much like the Hornets. I think they exceeded their expectations this year. So
yeah,
I give credit to Eric Spoelstra and the Heat organization. I think that game, even though it's a play-in game, I get it. They're out now. I think I'm not sure the Hornets win that game if Bam's on the court.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And speaking of LeBron James, I'm just going to say I take back everything nice I ever said about him. Fuck that guy. He's just fuck him. He is a crybaby piece of shit, and the league ought to fucking throw him out. He's just terrible. Everything he does is terrible, self-centered.
He's hard to love. He's hard.
He is, and he doesn't play well enough anymore that you can sort of overlook all the bullshit that goes on.
I'll tell you what, though, as a man,
and he's a Laker.
As a follically challenged man, I'm glad he finally found a razor. It looks so much better than what he was holding on to there.
Yeah. The ring of follicle there was not kind. Not kind. But just shut up, man. Stop complaining. Go play some defense or get off the court.
Yeah.
I mean, now, and the whole Bronny thing and all that shit. Just enough.
We'll see with the Lakers. There's a chance that Luka and Austin Reeves might play. So I don't know. That team.
Luka went to Italy to get his hamstring work done. What does that tell you? I don't know. Maybe it's just more to get his hamstring work done by Sophia, Dr. Sophia. Yeah.
Speaking of getting a hamstring work done, what are your thoughts on the Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel?
I don't know enough about it. Are either of them married?
Yeah,
they're both married.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll say two things about it.
She stepped down today, right?
She did. She resigned from the Athletic. Yeah.
Two things I'll say. Well, to me, look, was she getting inside information?
Yeah, I meant some.
You could look at that two ways. You could say, "Hey, that's a good job on her part." Doing what. But again, like, what information are you getting from Mike Vrabel that you really, what stories were broken? I don't know. But I will say this: I think that it was a little the coverage of it was a little unfair, at least initially, because she was getting way more heat than he was.
Yeah,
they were both cheaters with each other, and she was cast as the villain, which is typical of our society, and he was cast as, he shouldn't have done it, but he's Vrabel, he's a player, man, not quite to that degree, it was more subtle than that, but I thought it was a little bit unfair that she was getting, the flack that she was, and he was not getting an equal amount of flack for cheating on his wife. So,
A, you don't know everybody's personal situation. B, if they were in relationships and their partners did not, or spouses did not know about it, then it's horrible on both of them. 3, C, whatever I'm listing off here. I wish we lived in a society where we didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 30 years ago, we would have known about this. So.
Right. And look, we did what to your point, which you just said.
Not justifying the behavior. I would hope that both their families would find out about it.
The depth of the knowledge we have now is
that it's being broadcast as a news item is I can't. I just, again, I'm old. I don't.
This is personal between their families and them to deal with. It's not.
Yeah.
It's all you hear in the last 2-3 days.
And it's not like assumedly, and again, we don't know all.
Why didn't he step? Why did she step down? Why did she feel the need to step down? And why didn't he step down?
Her contract was up next month anyway.
Yeah.
So she was not going to get renewed.
And here's the thing: the New York Times owns the Athletic. Yeah. The New York Times.
Well, I know it's their sports section now.
Doesn't want to have anything to do with sports to begin with.
I know.
Clearly, they're not going to have anything to do with this. So before she got fired, and then she has to go find another job after getting fired, she stepped down.
Put her back on ESPN or something worthwhile watching.
Yeah. And look, and I would also say to what we don't know is we don't know the status of each of their individual relationships.
That's what I was saying.
We don't know either. We don't know any of it.
We go, oh man, they were both cheating. Well, maybe their relationships were falling apart anyway, and
maybe they had open relationships. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe we don't know. But it's I don't know. Look, maybe she was feeding him information about other teams. Who knows?
You never know. That would be in the grand scheme of the sporting industry. That would be worse than the actual act that they did. Assuming we're assuming that they actually did. Obviously, it's handwritings on the wall. They probably did, right? But we're assuming, that it actually did go that far, right? But
it could have just been, a physical relationship. Might have had nothing to do with sports news and all that, right. And you know. But if you look at again, I don't want to dwell on this too much, but if you think who is going to benefit more? She might get a scoop from him, but it's only going to be about one thing. But he might get a scoop from her about any of the other teams, maybe the team that they're playing that day or something like that. So she might have more information for him than he has for her. Right. Who knows? I don't know.
Could be.
But again, she shouldn't have been cast as more the villain than him. They're both guilty of it.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Assuming everything that's been reported is true, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the extent of their relationship was physical, and that's it. There was no other, nothing. No other
exchange of ideas.
Exchange. Yeah, there was only exchange of fluids, not ideas.
Oh God.
Let me ask you real quick about hockey here. Because I was talking to Harry before we got in the air, and I was saying, look, you can root for the Kings if you're a casual hockey fan or you don't have a dog in the fight. You can root for the Utah Mammoth, right? That's new. You can root for the Anaheim Ducks. That's been a while, and the Senators. So I don't know. I don't think non-hockey fans are going to necessarily just jump on anybody's bandwagon, but for a guy like me, who doesn't really watch hockey until the playoffs come around, I have multiple choices here because I'm certainly not going to, I don't know, maybe I'll root for Buffalo. How about that? Is that the biggest story in hockey? Sabres have 108 points and they're at the top of the Atlantic Division. But I have multiple kind of, dark horses to root for. So I think that's a really great thing about hockey. And hopefully it'll bring in some of those fans that maybe watched during the Olympics and then decided that they wanted to continue to be hockey fans, but not really quite sure who to root for. At least for the playoffs, you got some.
I think there's some teams that are getting hot, and obviously the change of head coach in Vegas. I mean, the Knights are a team that's going to be something interesting to watch. I mean, I think the hockey playoffs, as long as they should you usually get more upsets in hockey than you do in some other sports. So.
Didn't they win like 4 or 5 games straight after changing the head coach in Vegas?
Oh yeah, I mean they're the hottest team in hockey right now. It's other than actually I think they are. So it's it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think the NHL playoffs this year are going to be really really good. Yeah, and look, you got Buffalo, you got Tampa Bay, you got the Canadiens are back up there. There's a lot of good teams, and then there's some teams that who would have thought the Panthers and the Maple Leafs would be out of the playoffs, along with what we talked about earlier, all three, and the Blue Jackets and the Capitals. We were hoping
Capitals too.
Maybe this could be a swan song for Ovi, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. The Colorado Avalanche, they couldn't keep up with what they started the year out with, but they're 6-3-1 in their last 10, and that whole division is pretty good. And and Vegas is all of a sudden, they went out and made and now they're leading the Pacific Division. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
You don't have a team, pick a team. Watch some hockey playoffs. If you don't love hockey, I don't love hockey, but I like playoff hockey, so watch.
Playoff hockey is
and they don't do 3-on-3, right? We haven't adopted that yet. No, okay. Do they do 4-on-4? Or no, they just keep playing overtime. They do 4-on-4.
After a certain,
After 5 overtimes, they go 4
after the 8th overtime, they go 4-on-4. And if they get to 18 overtimes, they go 3-on-3.
and then the goalies fight it out.
It's after 2, right? In the
After
past
24 hours, they go to 1-on-1.
Yeah, 1-on-1.
Then the goalkeepers escape.
Actually, they have a they have a Zamboni off. They have a jousting Zambonis.
Yeah, there we go.
After 24 hours, it's just both goalies are hitting pucks back and forth to see if they can sneak it in.
It's like air hockey.
Right.
Yeah, they start out the blue line. They each have to shoot. If they both make it, they move to middle ice. They both have to shoot. They just keep moving farther away until somebody misses. So, with full pads and with the goalie stick.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes, yeah.
And they got to keep their mask on. So, all right.
Now,
I guess
that I would watch.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
I got one thing on hockey because it doesn't get any coverage.
Hockeyer than this.
The Denver Pioneers won their 11th NCAA championship over the
weekend. Yeah. I was watching it the other night.
A couple big upsets. Here's what makes this such a great story. Third string goalie Johnny Hicks was assumed the starting role towards the end of the year. Did not lose a game in the last 18 starts and won all of the games, obviously, in the Frozen Four. So he took over as a starter in January of this year and did not lose a game. And the one tie that he had was an overtime win. So it wasn't really even a tie. So look, congratulations to DU. He led the Pioneers with a 2.11 goal against average, a .939 save percentage in the playoffs. And he recorded 49 saves in a 4-3 double overtime win against Michigan to lead them to the championship game in which they beat Wisconsin. So, and they came back in all of these. They were down 1-0 in the third period to begin the third period against Wisconsin. And thancfully they won in regulation.
And Wisconsin is a perennial powerhouse.
Well, DU has the most NCAA championships of any hockey school. I mean, it's a small school. They don't even have a Division I. Well, they do, but they're not really known for many other sports other than lacrosse and hockey, and soccer a little bit. But a powerhouse that I don't really think gets much coverage nationally. And I was happy to see that the Frozen Four were on. I think they were on national television. I know you were watching it, Pete.
Yeah.
Or maybe you were just looking at it up on your phone. But
no, I forget what channel it was on. But,
yeah, I think it was on NBC.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, congratulations. And they closed down. I live a stone's throw from the campus, and it was a little interesting getting around through the neighborhood. But they were smart this time. They closed the streets down and gave them a corral of chaos. And I don't think any couches were lit on fire or houses burned down. So
that's good.
It's always a good thing when that happens.
Congratulations to not only the hockey team but the student body of the University of Denver. Well done.
Well done. Congratulations.
Very good.
Right.
Very good.
All right.
Oh, by the way, 10 days till the WNBA season starts.
10 days.
April 25th, the Indiana Fever head to Brooklyn to take on the New York Liberty for one of the games.
And Aja Wilson signed a 5-year, $5 million contract or a 4-year, $5 million. Well, I think 1.4 million a year, as I think the highest paid WNBA player of all time. She's certainly the best. So,
listen, I think we're going to have to do an over/under on how long the WNBA will be around.
It'll be around for however long because it's because the NBA has so much money that the WNBA will.
That's kind of the two sides of the argument as well. It's never been a moneymaker, but it's like, it's never been a moneymaker for 30 years. So why is, but now everybody's making more money, so they're losing even more. But it's still a drop in the bucket for the NBA. So it's more. I think the cost of the bad press would be way more than the cost of the money.
Well, and I think that while it's a smaller fan base, it's a fan base nonetheless. The only thing, look, it's hard to say, okay, a Liberty crowd or a Chicago Sky crowd versus some of the others, Connecticut, which I don't even think is like they moved or whatever the case might be. I'm not sure, like they're sharing arenas. So like you would think, all right, well, what if they played in smaller venues? Well, where do those venues exist? And you're not going to build a WNBA arena just for the WNBA. So I think two things. I think the attendance will continue to rise. And more importantly, I think the revenue associated with non-attendance, non-ticket sales is going to continue to really go up, because we have had an increase in sort of the personalities of the WNBA. And so I think that'll be good. I think it needs to stick around because I think it's an important part of growing women's basketball, which I'll tell you what, women's basketball is fun to watch. If we had a team here, I'd go watch them, but we don't.
Yeah. I also think that the sports media, who's always looking for a story, right? And get 24 hours to fill, 365 days a week, is now looking for who is the next, which they weren't doing as much in the past. But I think over the past 4 years, between Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers and I don't remember when Asia Wilson came out, but there's been a couple other players whose names I don't remember. I think they're looking for who's the next. Even if they're not going to be the next, who's going to be that player that they can pay attention to and get people interested in, even if it's just, people who are already WNBA fans. So, and kind of pumping that up. So that's a good sign when you have the media sort of looking for people that can be the story, as opposed to just, whatever.
It's also, the media is owned by certain conglomerates who own certain conglomerates who have a vested interest in certain conglomerates, which is good. I'm not trying to downplay it, but I'll be honest. I watched more of the women's NCAA Final Four than I did the men's. I found it more engaging.
Yeah. Well, listen, we'll see if there are any other teams that look for bigger venues to have their games, even if it's not all their games. Some
won't be bigger venues. No, they definitely won't be bigger. I mean,
are they going to have sort of that Indiana fever? Is there any team that's going to have? Is it only going to be maybe against the Indiana fever, or will some of these other? Teams,
Caitlin Clark certainly brings in a crowd, but it doesn't mean that the Indiana Fever are leading the league in attendance. I think it's
but when they went to somebody else's house, they found a bigger place to play.
Caitlin Clark needs to stay healthy and become part of the conversation, and where other players have deservedly so. I mean, look, Aja Wilson's you could make an argument that she might go down as the best women's basketball player of all time.
Yeah.
Her career is certainly not over yet, but she's certainly in the top 10 already. And you can make that argument. So there's some really good active players right now.
Yeah.
And, some at the beginning of their career, some in the middle, and some at the end, just like any other sport. But what's interesting with the WNBA is it's starting to happen much like the NBA. There's a lot of movement with who's playing where, and you got Angel Reese getting traded from the Sky, so you kind of have to stay engaged to see what's going on. Yeah,
we get to see what the Angel Reese effect is on the Atlanta Dream.
She's a great defender and a great rebounder. She just she struggles around the rim putting the ball in, but she's still a double machine, and there hasn't been too many great players in the history of the game that have averaged double rebounds, and so she might not be Aja Wilson ever, but she's certainly going to be Dennis Rodman of the WNBA, and that's an important piece if she could find the right team. I don't think you want to put the onus of her becoming the necessary scoring leader on a team, but she could certainly contribute.
Right,
and she's going to get better. So she's young.
We will see.
We will.
Johnny, anything to add before we run out the door?
I think we've said it all.
All right, there we go. So draft is in what, a couple days? No, next week?
A week from tomorrow.
Week from tomorrow. There we go. WNBA starts in 10 days. And
2 days after.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens with the play-in.
Yes, we will.
We will be in the NBA playoffs when we have our next show. So looks like the 76ers are going to win. Looks this score holds up. So I think they'll go to the number 7. You guys both picked them to come out. I think I said no on that one. So you'll both be 2-0 and I'll be 0-2.
There you
go. So much for my winning streak.
I think the most interesting first round, two most interesting first round matchups I have vested interest in. I think it's the Nuggets Timberwolves, and I think it's the Knicks Hawks.
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day. The Hawks are kind of a little bit on fire with a bunch of guys that few people know their names.
I think the Knicks will get past them, but I think the Knicks have to kind of shift gears.
Yeah, they're a bit of an enigma, those Knicks.
We shall see.
Yep, we'll talk about it in 2 weeks. So
You sure will.
Yeah, until then.
All right.
Until then.
Goodbye, everybody.
Ciao.
Thank you all for watching. For those of you listening to the audio podcast, a passel of thanks for listening. You're all really swell. Like and follow us on all our social media. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. All of our shows are available on YouTube at the Lager Room channel. Just click the live tab to reach the show archive. The video podcast is live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook every other Wednesday, starting sometime between 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find the audio podcasts on our host, Spreaker, as well as your favorite audio platform. If you haven't already, quit your dilly-dallying and subscribe so you will never miss a show. Thanks again for joining us. Have a great rest of your week and watch lots of sports. For the boys, this is Harry Hansen saying see you in a fortnight.